Hi, everyone. Alex Edelman, CEO of Lolly. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, good to be here. It's been a fun conference.
Yeah.
Anyways, Lolly, Bitcoin rewards for shopping. Is that correct?
Correct, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we're trying to make Bitcoin more accessible to everybody and crypto more accessible to everyone. So it's both teaching people about the importance of Bitcoin while also making it easily accessible to earn versus buy Bitcoin.
Okay, and that sounds great in theory, but in practice, like, how does that work? How does Lolly work? Like,
Yeah.
someone who's sort of like a crypto newbie or doesn't even know what crypto works, how do they encounter Lolly? How do you get it? How do you use it?
Yeah, so as a user, you would simply shop as you normally would at our 1,000+ merchant partners, and you get Bitcoin back when you shop. So anywhere from 1% back to 30% back on your everyday purchases. And the way the business model works is we actually partner with these merchants. They are providing an incentive for users to shop at their site versus something like an Amazon. And then they pay us, we pay our users, sending Bitcoin to their Lolly wallets.
Interesting. And who are your biggest, like, what stores do you have? How many stores? What are there some names we'd heard of?
Yeah, absolutely. So anyone from like Nike, Adidas, Sam's Club, eBay, you name it. Probably recognize just about everybody.
Nike, yeah, so.
Exactly.
Neat. No, it's this is a space evolved so fast. Remember when you guys were new, and it's like, well, this is kind of an interesting idea, but I think they need some like big league partners, and it seems like you have them. So, so I go to the Nike store, I buy something. Do I use a special credit card, or do I use my own credit card, or how does that work?
The thing that we are trying to do is make it as like intuitive as possible. So you pay as you normally would. So what we've done is we formed these partnerships so that we can make it as seamless as possible. You can pay with whatever you want, and actually probably less than five of our 1,000+ merchant partners actually accept crypto. And so for thousands of these merchants, we're their first crypto company that they're working with, because we make it so easy for the merchants and the consumers to actually get involved.
Neat. And I mean, how do you, in practice, use it? You go to a Nike website, I want to buy shoes. What happens then?
Yeah, so we have a Chrome extension and we have a mobile app. And on the Chrome extension, you would go to Nike, you would activate the Chrome extension, and we are communicating with Nike saying this user is shopping at this site and is going to earn 5% back in Bitcoin. And then they just buy their shoes as they normally would, and then they get Bitcoin sent to their Lolly wallet, and the shoes shipped to their house, and they use their credit card that they use every day. So one of our core beliefs is that people shop way more than they invest, the average person. And so if we can make Bitcoin a part of everyday life, attached to shopping, a more active, daily active, weekly active activity, we can make Bitcoin top of mind for everybody and sort of lead this transition into crypto.
Neat. Yeah, and because when I hear Bitcoin and shopping, I'm just kind of like, no, that doesn't work. For a couple of reasons. People they like to hodl their Bitcoin, not spend it, and also the tax implications. I've got like a tiny bit of Bitcoin I use just because of my job. I need to know how to do it, but I know if I spend it, I have tax risks. So it's possible to use Lolly and simply like amass it without having to spend it.
Yeah.
Okay.
And one of the nice things about the rebates is that that's not taxable income.
Okay.
So you pay taxes on gains and everything like that, but you're getting it for very little friction. It takes 30 seconds to sign up. You don't have to put in your social security number, your identification like you would in exchange. So for the average consumer, it is the easiest way to get started and start getting Bitcoin without having to actually take the risk of buying it.
Yeah. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And tell me a little bit about the Lolly wallet. I mean, do you build it yourself, or did you white label it for someone, or how does that work?
Yeah, we built it ourselves. So it's a custodial wallet. We think that's the easiest on-ramp into crypto. I do believe that offering like non-custodial solutions down the road, but the average consumer, and particularly our user, is not, I don't think, ready for that yet. And we can do a good job of educating people about custodial versus non-custodial. But really, like less than 10% of our users are actually moving Bitcoin outside of the Lolly ecosystem. So what our belief is that we're actually, because like 90% of our users are keeping it within the Lolly ecosystem, we think that that means that we have a very new consumer into crypto. They're learning about it. They're using a custodial solution as opposed to holding their keys.
Okay, interesting. And it's easy enough if you do want to move your Bitcoin, you can send it anywhere.
Yeah, you can move it into your US dollar bank account, or you can move it into any Bitcoin address.
Okay.
So yeah, we're big believers, not your keys, not your coins. So we do our best to educate people about that, and we have plenty of users that they want to own their Bitcoin, they want to hold their Bitcoin, and they move it outside to their custodial or non-custodial solutions.
And can you say anything about how many customers you have?
Yeah, we just passed 350,000 users, so getting pretty mainstream adoption. And keep in mind we're a tiny startup, and
and most of those in the U.S. Or?
Yeah, we're U.S. only to start, and then we're expanding internationally over the next year.
Oh, neat. Who's next? Britain or?
We're doing some market testing right now
Okay.
to see where we want to expand next. We'll probably do like a phased approach into these different countries. But very excited. A lot of international demand, clearly, for free Bitcoin, surprisingly.
People like free Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Everyone likes free Bitcoin. And finally, it's funny, our editor-in-chief, Dan, asked on the way in, hey, some people say you're Bitcoin maximalists because, you've been around for a while. Why only Bitcoin?
Well, I think that when one of the ways I look at it is you have to create a solution that is very easy for the consumer to understand and get into. And when every time we survey, we see that users know Bitcoin, like the average consumer knows about Bitcoin, and Ethereum, Solana, and other chains are not. So there's that side of it, even aside from our own beliefs. I will say that I'm a long-term Bitcoin maximalist. I believe that over the next several decades, we will see Bitcoin have this stronghold as a store of value. That doesn't mean that other chains won't emerge and be solutions that will empower people. And so I think we're starting to see these other chains emerge. The things that I've said since we launched is, I believe in a free market. I believe that people should, if they want to see Ethereum, if they want to see Solana, back or other coins, they should request it. They should demand it. Right now, the vast majority of our users, they want Bitcoin and they want Bitcoin only. We're big believers that if you can create a very simple solution for people to just come in and earn Bitcoin, that's the easiest. I think when you give the average consumer too much choice, too many options, you see a lot of churn or you see a lot of decision fatigue.
Right.
So it's both a product decision, but it's also like a focus point. It's like, we believe long-term Bitcoin. We know we have a high degree of certainty that it will be serving society for a very long time. It's not going anywhere. The other chains, I think, have things to prove out, and we want to see the consumer demand before we go into other chains.
That makes sense, yeah, because if you go on there for the first time, someone doesn't know crypto well, and do you want some Tron with that or something it could be off-putting. That makes sense. But Alex, you did suggest that maybe Ethereum might be coming.
It really depends if if it sorts out some of the gas issues. Like right now, you couldn't run Ethereum with our model. If our users are earning $100 and then they transfer it out and it costs $150, that wouldn't work for anybody. Nobody would want to do that. No one was going to spend $150 to go move $100.
Right.
So gas fees are prohibitively expensive right now. So when you look at a model like ours, you really couldn't do on Ethereum. Now things like Solana that are scaling a little bit better and starting to develop a strong developer community are really interesting. So we play around with all this stuff. I mean, I would say, we're human maximalists first. We're innovation maximalists. We're looking at things that are going to enable people, give people access to, democratization of finance. Those are the kind of things that excite us, and that's what Bitcoin has already done in most parts of the world. And so, while Bitcoin's already served its value to society and will do for decades to come, I think that Ethereum and Solana are showing hints of that with things like NFTs. So you have Ethereum and Solana are empowering these artists, empowering creators to enable them to make games and do play to earn. And you see things going on in the Philippines with things like Axie and YGG, which are enabling entire countries to earn real money. And so things like that are directionally very interesting and are leading us into saying, okay, these other chains are actually starting to serve the value that Bitcoin has already served. And so let's start to consider them more as we get more and more demand from our user base.
You're reading between the lines here, Alex. It sounds like by sometime next year, there's a decent chance we'll see Ethereum or Solana on Lolly.
It's up to our users. Yeah.
Very diplomatic. Okay, well, thanks very much, Alex. Enjoyed the interview. Thanks for telling us what Lolly does. Might even check it out myself. Thanks.
Cool. Thank you so much.
Yep.